Schooling of girls. Education is a basic human right that should be exercised fully in all nations. A girl's education is essential starting point in establishing equality everywhere. There are schools, but most girls do not attend, often because of religious reasons or cultural pressure. There should not be differences in the numbers of such a basic universal human right. The law of the land makes it clear that both boys and girls have an equal opportunity to attend school from the age of 6 through 14, and the primary education is a fundamental right. Higher education. There is some disagreement in the definition of higher education. Some defines it purely as education that will result in a college degree. It should be noted that the definition of higher education could vary from country to country. Not all countries have compulsory education equivalent to what a person might get in American high school. Essentially, the term higher education can be broadly defined. In the most of the Western world, it is viewed as post-secondary school education undertaken on a voluntary basis. Higher education is a seldom compulsory. Not everyone needs to go to college or trade school, and few, not all schools have AP programs. But this doesn't mean a student can currently pursue a diploma and college credits at the same time. Many students are eligible to start taking community college courses by their sophomore or junior year in high school. Countries makes this education mandatory. Secondary completion rates for girls and boys. Secondary completion is computed by dividing the total number of students in the last secondary education school minus repeaters in the grade by total number of children of official completing age. Secondary completion rates are important to measure since the dropout rates in highest secondary and lower secondary grades. Desegregation. It is particularly important to segregate is this indicator by sex, income, disability, religion, and separately for children in religions of conflict. Since children in such religions are upgrades of dropping out of the schooling system or administrative data does not capture this information, it may be important to capture it under such categories. Feminization of teaching profession. Women's and the feminization it was teaching profession has been debated for decades, in some places for over a century. The term feminization has tended to apply to countries where women are significant majority in teaching workforce. Other explorations have been sought to look more deeply at trends within feminization itself, including variation between education sector and management structures. Some discussions have attempted to address what the implication of a majority female teaching profession has meant for gender equality and relation more broadly, including women's overall empowerment within society and economy. Feminization as a statistical, sociological, and educational exploration. At a purely statistical level, an occupation that is predominantly made up of women is said to be feminized. Similarly, the Working Group of European Trade Union Committee for Education, or ETUS, used the term feminization to describe the phenomenon or large-scale entry into the teaching profession by women. But going further to Eto's report indicated three distinct meanings within this. A statistical meaning used in calculating percentages of women and men in a given profession. A meaning related to the effects of the weight of numbers and the rate of access of women into profession. Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development or OECD Use a percentage scale to bracket levels of feminization within any teaching force, categorizing high subminization levels as 70% or 50 to 69%. The following categorization will be applied: low to medium feminization, 55 to 69%; high feminization, 70% and above. Secondly, the study will also attempt to examine feminization from a sociological basis, exploring key issues that accompany the statistical trends, including causes, consequences, and implication. Global and Commonwealth Overview. As already noted, the feminization debate has been taking place primarily in countries that have been long-standing education systems and long history of women entering the profession.
Feminism it is an interdisciplinary approach to issue of equality and equity based on gender expression, gender identity, sex and sexuality as understood through social theories and political activism. Feminism theory now interrogate inequalities and equities along the intersectional lines of ability, class, gender, race, sex and sexuality, and feminism seek to effect change in area where these intersectional tastes create power equality. Feminism political activities in areas such as reproductive rights, domestic violence, social justice, and workplace issues, such as a family medical leaves, equal and sexual harassment and discrimination. Feminism is an awareness of a woman's oppressions and exploitation in society, at the place of work and with the family, and the conscious action of change this situation. Latin America and Caribbean, having a female teacher percentage over 70%, indicating high level of feminization. Central and Eastern Europe and Central Asia, highest level of statistical feminization. Commonwealth countries in Sub-Sahara Africa, low level of female teacher percentage found overall the region Nigeria, Kenya, Ghana, Uganda. Southeast Asia and Pacific, 60% and above primary education by the turn of the millennium. Commonwealth South Asia, like Sub-Sahara Africa, shows divergence in trend between some countries. Current there have made to recruitment of women into the profession and expected outcome within national education sector plans and donor education alike. A. Acceptable standard of teachers training. B. The prevention of teachers into the education system in a manner that is both ethical and sustainable. As educational system become increasingly feminized on a statistical level, the opportunities for women employment in their sector have become solidified, offering guarantees of economic surely for many women in the future. Women states in developing country, school culture and issues. The developing of a country is very dependent on the role of freedom and women receive. The gender role does vary geographically between more developed countries (MDC) and less developed countries (LDC). Is less developed countries women take on lower roles and lower stand of in the social class, but geographically in MDS women have more power and can have higher jobs.